good, beautiful people? Today I'm going to share with you some fun, crazy, cool facts about Saudi Arabia that I have learned just from my experience and observations, okay? Number one is that for all of you beard crushes out there, beards are like on point here. Beards are viewed as a sign or a symbol of masculinity. So you will see a lot of thick bearded men around here. You'll also see some that have a bit of a length too. I'm still fascinated by the whole beard movement or beard trend that's going on back in the US. Don't get me wrong, I am a fan of a nice beard, even a nice mustache. Anyway, moving right along to number 2. So, a friend of mine who used to work in South Korea and now he's also here in Saudi Arabia, he posted this on his page, on his Facebook page, or in a group, I can't remember. And I did not believe it was true. I thought that was just him being silly, but check this out. Boys, not men, but boys start to learn how to drive at the age of 10 years old in Saudi Arabia. Make note that in this country, women cannot drive, but boys can learn to drive at 10 years old. That explains maybe why they drive so crazy here. Okay, so what does crazy mean? Crazy means that they come really, really close to almost hitting you. And another guy who lives here told me that this is like, I don't know, the top 5, top 3 of like death by car crashes, like the top capital or the capital of death by car crashes or something like that. I don't know how true that is, but I have seen several like car accidents just in the middle of the road since I've been here. So that's one thing. But honestly, I've been to so many countries where they drive so crazy and to our standards so unsafe that it really doesn't faze me. I should be scared, but I'm so not. I'm like, they got it. They know what they're doing. But yeah, so that's number 2. Number 2 is the driving. So boys learn to drive at 10 years old. No lie. I've seen men driving with like little boys in their laps, like letting them hold the steering wheel. I've even seen young boys that maybe look like they were 12 driving. I haven't seen that often, but I've seen it like at least 1 or 2 times for myself. And it was like double take. Number 3, clocks don't tell time here. It's just like they're here for wall art. And I don't know if that's just in Abha, but I think even when I was in Bahrain is an island. It's another Muslim country that's right off of the East Coast, right off of the East Coast of Saudi Arabia. So when I was in the hotel there, they didn't have clocks. I came here when I went to Dammam. There was either no clocks or the clocks didn't work. Coming here at the place that I stayed in Khamis, and the place that I'm staying in here, the hotel apartment that I stayed in, no clocks. I mean, it had clocks, but they don't tell time. And when you see a clock, it's just natural to look and be like, oh, what time is no time. No time. That the second hand is stuck on the 12 and the hour hand is stuck on the 2 forever till infinity. It's the same thing at work. It's the same thing in my office. It's the same thing in the classrooms. The classrooms actually don't even have clocks at all. But yeah, I think that's so bizarre. It's just like, yo, it takes a couple of little batteries. Just set the clocks, man. Why have them if you're not going to set the clocks? So I don't know if that's like a thing everywhere throughout the country or if it's just been a weird phenomenon with all the places that I've stayed. Okay, so number 4 is that, so when I was in Korea, Korea is really known, and I don't know if they started this or if they've just, maxed it out because it's really convenient. But I brought them up to say that they're really big on instant coffees. They come in these tiny little packets. You rip them open, pour it in a cup, add hot water, and bada boom, bada bing, you got yourself a nice little sweet cup of coffee. Now, I like it to be a little sweet, but I just like that deep, dark, chocolatey, velvety taste of the coffee. And whenever I would get these little packets that said Arabic coffee, it would always have those characteristics. Now, fast forward to Saudi Arabia, and I get to Saudi Arabia, and guess what? Arabic coffee is not what I think it is. It's completely different. It reminds me a lot of spiced tea, but they say it is not tea at all. It is actually real coffee from actual coffee beans. So they typically add cardamom, is one of the main ingredients, and from the coffees that I've had since I've been here, they almost always have ginger in it as well. So it's roasted really lightly, and it just, I don't know. I like it, but it doesn't taste like coffee to me at all. You know what we're used to. We're used to the dark black, strong coffee. And so when they call coffee strong here, it means it's heavily spiced. It has a lot of spices in it. So it means it's strong to taste, I think, to the palate. Yeah, I like it. It just reminds me of spiced tea. So the Arabic name for the coffee, for Arabic coffee, is actually called gawa. Gawa. Oh, and they tend to, traditionally, they eat it with dates. And a lot of times they'll have dried dates, or they'll have oh, I forget the process that they do, but it's these dates that are like sweetened. Whatever the process is, it brings out the sugar in the fruit. So it brings out the sweet juices of the fruit, and it changes it to where it's naturally, it looks like it's like coated in syrup or sugar or something, but it isn't. So they eat that with the coffee because the coffee is not sweetened. So for me, it's like I said, I really like it. And the practice or the tradition is to eat the dates first to kind of sweeten the tongue, sweeten the palate, because they're really sweet. They're like sweet and like a mushy, but like a thickness to it. It's hard to describe. And then they're pitted. They have pits in the center. So the dates are supposed to sweeten the palate, and then you drink the coffee with that, and that's supposed to sweeten the coffee, but not really. Number 5 is the work week here. The work week here in Saudi, and I think maybe in most Arab countries, is Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday. Friday, I believe, is a big holy day in terms of prayer, where they pray longer hours. And so they reserve that day for prayer. And so the work week is actually Sunday. So our Monday is their Sunday. Now, my Saturday is a Sunday, like, and I can't switch it up in my mind. Even though I know to go to work on Sunday, I still refer to it in my mind as Monday. All right, and last but not least, this is a bonus. It's number 6. It is that Saudi Arabia, if you people didn't know, is home of 2 of the most holiest mosques in the nation and in the religion of Islam. So what are those 2 mosques? Let me tell you. So Medina and Mecca are 2 very important places. It's 2 of the most holiest lands in the Islam faith, because it's where the Prophet Muhammad lived and died. So that was pretty interesting. I don't think that I ever knew that Mecca was in Saudi Arabia. I mean, of course, I've heard of Mecca before, but I guess I don't know. It never occurred to me to think like where it was exactly. So I was actually a bit shocked to learn that Saudi Arabia is the home of Mecca, which is that's pretty cool. But it's also the reason why it is illegal to openly practice any other faith here. That this seems, a bit extreme to a lot of people, but I understand it. It makes sense to me. They want to preserve the way of life, the religion, the holy land of their religion and their culture. So that's one way of how they choose to do it. I believe that's it in terms of some fun facts, fun, cool, crazy, wild facts that I wanted to share with you all about Saudi Arabia. That's it, and that's all. That's what my mom says. Shout out to my moms. I guess I'm feeling really goofy today. Excuse me. You know what I think it is? I think that I bottle up so much of my personality and my energy when I'm here that when it's just me and the camera, I just kind of go all out. And yeah. But all right, so that's a wrap. Deuces.